to On Second Thought. I'm Stephanie Stamfer, co-hosting tonight.
Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Charlie, do you have a driver's license?
No, sir, I haven't. I don't drive commercially.
You don't drive commercially, I see. So you don't need a driver's license?
If you're not being paid, you no need for a driver's license.
So if I was getting paid to haul goods and services, or I was a taxi driver...
You would have to have a driver's license. That's commerce.
That's commerce. But you don't drive in commerce, so you haven't had a driver's license for how many years, Charlie?
37 years.
What happens, Charlie, when the police pull you over and they think you're speeding or you didn't signal?
Well, now they just shake their finger at me or tell me to have a nice day. Stood up way over on the other side of the courtroom, and the place was full of lawyers and plaintiffs and defendants, whatever they were. And the lawyer hollers across the courtroom, Mr. Sprinkle, he says, I would like to speak to you after the judge has left the courtroom. I said, why, Mr. Leicester, what is it you have to say to me that you don't want the judge to hear? So he comes out in the hall. I ignored him. I just went on about my business and went out in the hall. He came out and put his arm around my shoulder, and he said, Mr. Sprinkle, he says, things hasn't been the same around the house since the lawsuit struck. He said, could you dismiss dismiss the wives from this case? I said, Mr. Leicester, I'll take it under advisement and notify you by mail. He says, well, you're just being vindictive. I said, no, sir, Mr. Leicester. I said, it's like this. When I got that citation, my girlfriend left me. My number one girlfriend left me. My number two girlfriend left me. My number three girlfriend will barely talk to me anymore. My goldfish died and my cat's got diarrhea. I said, you think it upsets your household? It upsets my household too. So, see you in court.
I take my hat off to you, Charlie. that is, and it's a true story. And you really don't have a driver's license, do you?
No, sir.
And you brought with you some citations just to prove to people, if you think Charlie's making this up, you've got a thing here, not guilty, dismissed from January 10th of 03. It looks like one is you're an unlicensed driver violating 853.7 PC. It's dismissed.
This is where William Wagener gives us second thoughts on the unconstitutional acts of our local, state, and federal officials, in hope that you will learn how to take back America from the unconstitutional acts of the socialists of our New World Order. And they're bent on enslaving the world through the banking system and world wars. Now for the good guy in the white hat, William Wagener.
And you don't deny that what they charged you with was true, right?
What they charged me with, well...
Being an unlicensed driver, you admit that.
I was an unlicensed driver. I never claimed to have a license.
Failure to appear on citation, what about that?
They lied to me. They told me that the court was closed that day, and they was going to change the date, and then they didn't, and it was a lie.
You mean the court system, the clerk, and all those guys lied to you, Charlie?
Yep, they did.
Our public servants lied to you, Charlie?
Absolutely.
Oh, God. Could they be corrupt, Charlie?
They are corrupt.
Is there any question that they're corrupt? I mean, I was just bowled over when Colleen Stewart said, under color of law. Like she was so proud of it, under color of law. And I'm thinking, did I hear her right?
She doesn't even know what it means.
I don't think she does. And she apparently went to law school. Maybe that's why she didn't have a very good law practice.
The only thing they study in law school is how to collect their fees. I'm serious, honest.
I bet you that's a really important class that they pay close attention to, Charlie.
You don't hear many of them getting not paid.
Licensed driver out of classification. I can't figure out what that's about.
Well, he knew he couldn't make unlicensed driver fly, so he tried the other one.
Oh, jeez. We'll just throw mud at you, Charlie. If this don't stick, we'll throw some other mud at you. Well, that's interesting, Charlie. You are a genuine American. Now you've got a new lawsuit. Tell me what this lawsuit's about. We need to know.
This here is a blow-up copy of the David Merlin lawsuit that was filed in Oregon.
Okay. This is page one. David Merlin, for you that don't remember, was going to come down and be on the show and he canceled.
He's a legal genius, absolute. He's written this lawsuit in such a manner that the state cannot answer it. They didn't even try. They didn't even put in a motion to dismiss. They let it go to default.
Wow.
And
so that's page 1.
Here's the bottom of that.
And he's naming the state of Washington, Christine Gregory, Liz Lucy,
Loves them.
King County, Washington, Snohomish County, Pierce County, David Reichert, Susan Rahr, Richard Bart, Paul Pastor, Michael Hurtado, Teddy Chow, Norman Mailing, T. McAllister, City of Kirkland, Kenyon Dornay Marshall Law Firm. Why is he suing a law firm? And Margaret Dorn, oh, that's probably the law firm that represents the state. And all those similarly situated or involved defendants. In other words, he couldn't even name them all.
No, we ain't got enough paper.
Okay, here's page 2, according to Charlie.
That's the...
Okay, sorry. Here comes now the complaints above, named seeking herewith to comply with 18 U.S.C. 4 by reporting felonious conduct to cause the U.S. Department of Justice to commence criminal proceedings against the defendants for federal crimes alleged herein, felony and lesser violations included. Defendants have engaged in a course of conduct over the past several years which has caused and is causing public vehicular travelers in Washington state the loss of constitutional rights to freely associate, to contract, to property, to privacy, and which threatens their liberty and the right to reside. Any federal public servant receiving this complaint shall consider it to be their constructive notice of the acts complained herein, be they in Congress, the U.S. Department of Justice, or any other office or position. Ignorance of the law is no excuse in any country. If it were, the laws would lose their effect because it can always be pretended. With us, there is no power which can suspend the law for a moment. See Thomas Jefferson and Andrew Limousin, 1787, ME 6401. 1.2, the criminal conduct complaint includes, but is not limited to, 1, malicious prosecution and false imprisonment, 2, extortion of property under color of official right, and an ongoing racketeering enterprise. I think that would apply to child support too.
Yes, sir.
Extortion activities which directly discriminate against the poor. 4, illegally obtaining articles of commerce in the interference with. 5, mailing threatening communications to public vehicular travelers. And conduct dangerous to human life intended to intimidate civilian population. Domestic terrorism.
Right.
That's the truth. Most people are terrorized when they see lights come on behind them. Statutory authorities quoted herein show modes of enforcement visited by the defendants upon the public at large in Washington State to be excessive and overtly criminal and occurring on or after 12/1/00